There's an echo that I'm hearing with this music. I don't know where it's coming from, but that's one of those technology snafus that. Yes, hold on. Let me try to fix my sound because. I don't know where that's coming from. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, I'm gonna try to mute that, and because I can hear the feedback. I think it's coming from an Instagram feed. I do believe. Let me make sure, because I could hear the feedback in it. I don't know where that's coming from. But anyway, I want to go ahead and get started. Welcome to my live stream. My name is Michelle, aka the Ignited Teacher. And what I do for my community, if you're watching this, thank you for being a part of my community. I help teachers to close math gaps with evidence based math strategies that can be implemented as early as the next day. I try to make things very easy to implement in this fast pace of what we call education. And, you know, that's what I do on here. So if you are new here, drop a comment in the comment section and tell me where you are watching from. Or if you are not new here, thank you and let me know where you're chatting from today as well. So let's go ahead and get this party started. So if you're looking for some type of free resources um, on my blog, I do have blog posts regarding most of the things that I do talk about in my on my live streams. You can always, like, if you're one of those type of people that likes to um, read it instead of watching it, this is for you. So I think I have right now about almost over 200 blog posts in my on my blog. I haven't blogged in a while. I'm about to start because I have some more content and strategies that I would definitely like to um, put out there. So that's what we're doing. So if you are interested in my blog, it's fuelgreatminds.com. It has different sections. I talk about 5 different things: response to intervention, tier one instruction. I'm actually doing a partnership this year with the King of Random, which I am really, really excited about because people don't know that I am really a big um, science nerd. I love science, but I like to teach math because it challenges me, but I love, love, love science. So I will start showcasing that side of this and why that's important for children who struggle, because that is what I do. But I can't wait to get started with that. So be on the lookout for that. My blog and my website is Fuel Great Minds, FUELGREATMINDS.com. So fuelgreatminds.com. Now, so today's topic is more so about how to identify gaps. It's summertime. You're probably talking because there are those teachers out there that are, well, it's summertime and why is she talking about this? Well, because summertime, yes, we do take a break to relax. However, comma, we still have to sharpen our tools. So I will be doing a series of gap closing and all of these because one of the things I had I'm all over the place. I had the opportunity to present at the NCTM conference this past just last week in New Orleans. And this was the first of their kind of doing a collaboration between NCTM and NCTM. If you don't want to know what NCTM is, it's the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics, and NCT is the National for English. So they did a collaboration, which is my jam because my problem solving strategy, which I adapted from the Read Draw Write framework, I've turned it into a framework that supports struggling readers. And that was my first time this past this last week to actually present that information and what I've learned on how to support struggling readers to close those gaps for math. Math is no longer closing gaps at the math level. And I'll talk more about that later on, but this one is just about identifying and plugging gaps. And I'm going to introduce you into the strategy that I use that has never failed me when I have had to implement it. Now, I'm not saying I've had to do this all the time, but a lot of times when you have groups of students that are struggling readers and they, for some reason, I don't know, and I don't know if this is by design, but they seem to all be in one class. That's how it works. I don't know. It's like they gravitate. So you'll end up with children that are struggling readers, a whole group of them, and you're a math teacher that is not versed in reading. I have a different skill set because I started out teaching reading to first and second graders. So I know what to do when my students are struggling with reading. So let's get started. The first thing, that step that you take when you are trying to figure out how to where these kids are. Let me say that. You're trying to figure out where the kids are, and they're not the result, which are summative assessments, they're not doing well. So you as a math teacher, you're like, what do I do? I need to come up with a way to close these gaps and actually move the needle where it counts, which is on the paper, and I need to do it by the next assessment. So that's the beauty of education. We do things on the fly. And I'm going to go ahead and let you know, if you're new here, teaching is messy. It's not something that's just cut and dry. Oh, I do this, this, and this, because we have all types of learners in our classroom. That's why I'm big on student profiles. And I'm not talking about an FBI profile. I'm talking about, what do you know about your students? And you have to, and in high school, I get it. Y'all have a lot of kids, but you should have a general knowledge of where those children are. Just a general. I'm not saying specific, but if you have to dig, you know where to get the information. So the first step is your observation. Now, teachers have a tendency of overlooking their own expertise as a starting point. And it's really about, what are you seeing in your classroom? And these are called anecdotal notes. I keep notes on my students all the time for intervention. I keep a binder, as a matter of fact. Let me grab it. This is my binder. And I have about 4 sections in here. I just really only put here data. which is progress monitoring, any of those things, benchmark testing, Snapchat, whatever your district is calling them. I put my planning, and I also put the lead forward document, which shows the vertical alignment and instructional supports. And it gives me a general idea. Let me just be clear. Nobody or no document is going to tell you what you need to do verbatim. Teaching doesn't work like that, and you shouldn't expect it. What you should be doing, and I recommend this, is learning. Become a person of learning. And that's me. Some things I have outgrown because I've been teaching a long time. But learning never stops. I read a lot of books. I purchase a lot of books. And I'm always trying new things in my classroom. So you are the connoisseur and the expert in the classroom. So the first step in identifying learning gaps is your observation. What are you seeing? Now, that's what you're seeing in relationship to the vertical alignment of skills. Say, for instance, you're in fifth grade. We're talking about skills from fourth, third, fifth, on back to K. So if the students aren't successful in the skills that they need for the horizontal alignment, which is their current grade placement, that's one thing that you should be looking for. Do they have the prerequisite skills? Are they successful? And if the answer is no, then you know you have a problem, which will lead you into the second step, which is quantitative data. I use a daily mastery check. This is not my idea. As a matter of fact, I was introduced to it by one of the teachers I taught with. It didn't look like this, but she used to just keep notes on her students, and some people call them, I don't know. I've always known it as mastery check. Somebody, I think they call them running records or something, like something crazy for math. The running record is in reading, but I just call it a daily mastery check. And I don't do it daily. I try to do it twice a week because I know that I'm going to introduce a skill and then I'm going to end a skill. Then I know I'm going to enter, because I should be able to cover 2 to 3 concepts per week. So I know that third concept, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to finish it and it'll carry on over to the next week. So that's what I use. So this is the numbers piece. The observation is your qualitative piece. You have to have both of them, because they're going to give you the complete picture of where your students are. You shouldn't have any surprises when it comes to test prep or when it comes to your kids taking a test. Because if you start building a profile of your students based on qualitative and quantitative data, you will have a complete picture. So the first step in identifying is your observations. The second step is look at the numbers. Are they successful? And I know for some of you all, that's going to blow your mind, because you're going to say, well, I'm a first-year teacher. It matters not. Team up is called collaboration. Ask people, get in Facebook groups. What should these kids know when they're coming to fifth grade? If you don't know, we are in a global age. It is not, you're not by yourself. Like when I first started teaching, there was no Facebook, there was not any of these things. But you have to, if you are first, second year and new to the content, get in some Facebook groups, get in on Twitter if you can, and start asking questions. You do not know everything. Sometimes even for me, I have to reach out and ask questions. But if you don't know, ask. And the last step is the strategy. Now, this is the strategy that I know has worked years, and it's reading comprehension in the classroom. So let me pull this up. This is a blog that I wrote years ago. So I've been doing this, implementing this strategy for years. Now, I'm not saying be a reading teacher, just like I told the teachers at NCTM. There are 5 components of reading, and I know they renamed it and called it something else, and it's not. It's called 5 components of reading. It is fluency, um, vocabulary, comprehension, there's phonics and phonemic awareness. Those are the 5 things that children need to read. And if they don't have them, they're going to struggle. Now, math teachers are not responsible for phonics, phonemic awareness, or fluency. That's for a reading teacher. However, you are responsible for vocabulary and comprehension. Those skills are things that your students will use in your classroom. So back to the strategy. Let me bring this down. So reading comprehension strategies in the classroom, I told you read, draw, write, but in this blog post, I talk about reciprocal teaching, which is something that I use. I have adapted it to the math classroom. So they read the problem and identify any words that the group members do not understand. Circle the numbers that they're going to use box. So it goes through that. It goes through this. So here we are after that, and it goes through all of the actual steps that I take. So it's just really an introduction to this idea or concept. And I'm going to move from back to there. So adding support for your readers who are struggling with comprehension of mathematics will boost your test scores. It will boost your bottom line. And if you're saying, well, I'm not a reading teacher, well, I'm not asking you to be a reading teacher. I'm suggesting that you learn some comprehension strategies to support and really be able to take your kids deeper. Because reading comprehension strategies are analyzing, sequencing, creating, all those levels of blooms. Comparing, contrasting. We compare and contrast in math all the time. But if you are not doing these things in your classroom, your students are going to continue to struggle. If you've read or if you keep up with any type of research, you will know that research is saying that the reading levels are on the decline. You need to start pulling things into your toolbox as a math teacher to support those students because the reading is not there. And plus, the teachers have gotten younger. If you keep up with the news, you know that a lot of experienced teachers are leaving. So we're dealing with a greening of education, which one would think that, that, and that's okay. But we're talking about the majority of educators being new. So what does that say? They have to learn somewhere, and there are going to be some guinea pig cases. That's just how it works. They don't start out knowing everything. They get better by year after year if they're owning their craft. So I hope that this was something that you could take back to your classroom and start just thinking about, if you're teaching summer school, how can you support readers? And this is not just for struggling readers, it's for emerging bilinguals, it's for 504 students. It will target and support all of those students that you have. So, do you feel a little smarter? I should hope so. Um, but tune in all summer. I'll be talking about this and other things. Also, I will be hosting a math teachers boot camp coming up in July. So I will be it's a 3-day boot camp, really just honing in on what you need for mathematics to get the school year started, giving you some strategies to start out to have a successful year. So, if you are interested, here's again my blog post. My blog is fieldgreatminds.com, and I focus on inclusive instruction. And that's me. You can see I do have a store on there. And also, these are the 5 topics that I talk about: technology integration, response to intervention, classroom management, project based learning, and math instruction. For the math bootcamp, I'll be focusing on math instruction, response to intervention, and maybe definitely classroom management, and maybe some technology integration. Those are the things that will be my focus in the math boot camp. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe, because what it will do is notify you when I go live. Also, if you go to my website, please get on the email list, because I'll be sending out emails to remind you about the math teachers boot camp. So, I hope you enjoyed today's segment. I hit 30 minutes. It's 9:59. Thank you so much for being a part of my this live stream. Hit me up on either X, Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, and I'll see you all in my next live stream. Bye-bye.